Now is the best time to take your credit to the next level. Things are heating up. Stay tuned, stay on the lookout, subscribe, and stick around to the end, and I got something that can help you take your credit to the next level. But things are heating up, and this is what I mean. Recently, I released a video talking about how Experian was getting sued by the CFPB, and now things are heating up even more. So this is one of the greatest times to take your credit to the next level due to the fact that it's some things that are happening behind the scene that's causing your score to be less than it should be. Most people should have a higher credit score, but because of improper things being done or unlawful behavior, their score is not where it should be. That being said, let's dive straight in. So the CFPB orders Equifax to pay $15 million for improper investigations of credit reporting errors. And this is coming from a credit restoration expert. I have a credit restoration company where I help people take their credit to the next level. So I know a lot of these things to be true. And I've been leveraging the CFPB to help get things deleted or updated to positive for my clients. So I understand that Equifax isn't doing what they're supposed to do. Experian isn't doing what they're supposed to do. And I'm sure TransUnion is right on the verge of being proven that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So Equifax failed to conduct adequate investigations of disputed information on credit reports. What does this mean? That means if you've been disputing things on your credit report, no matter how you've been doing it, we highly recommend using mail and letters or leveraging the CFPB. If you've been doing those things and you've been getting letters that say verified, or you've been getting a style tactic letters that make it seem like, it looks like it came from a credit restoration company and things of that nature, then you got to understand that they're failing to conduct a proper investigation on the information that's being disputed on your consumer report. That's very important. So today, the CFPB took action against Equifax, the nationwide consumer reporting agency, for its failure to conduct proper investigations of consumer disputes. The CFPB found Equifax ignored consumer documents and evidence submitted with disputes, allowed previously deleted inaccuracies to be reinserted into credit reports, provided confusing and conflicting letters to consumers about the results of its investigation, and used flawed software code, which led to inaccurate consumer credit scores. The order requires Equifax to comply with federal law, and Equifax must pay $15 million civil money penalty, which will be deposited into the CFPB's Victims Relief Fund. So pretty much how that works is that they have a fund that they get, or once they get certain deposits based on whatever lawsuits and things that they've conducted. If you fall into the category of victims who have been affected by these things, then a certain amount of that can go towards you. Now, obviously, not everybody is going to get what's there. So what it does is stay into the fund and rolls over, and it eventually gets issued out to other people who may be victims of this unlawful behavior. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, Equifax failed in its basic duty to investigate and resolve consumer disputes about inaccurate information on their credit reports, said the CFPB director. Today's order requires Equifax to pay a civil penalty and follow federal laws on handling credit reporting disputes. So if they're being hit with a penalty of $15 million, which is a drop in the ocean to them, then they're probably going to tighten it up in their areas of how they go through an investigation or how they go through the disputes, which is why this is one of the greatest times to get your credit to the next level and get disputes on point, or start getting things in motion. So that way they know, okay, we've already been sued. We've already been hit with this big penalty. We need to take these disputes seriously. So that's why you need to make sure that you apply pressure and don't let up, because this is just a company, a for-profit company that use your data. Even if the data is incorrect, they're still able to make money. So if you're not applying pressure to them just due to fear of thinking that they're bigger than you, then you're sadly mistaken. You got to keep applying pressure. And even when it feels like, this is not being deleted, this is not being removed, continue to apply pressure. Go above them if you need to. Use the CFPB, file complaints, and it leads to situations just like this. And like I said, this is a public for-profit company. Right there in the next line, it says Equifax Inc. And it's on the New York Stock Exchange for EFX. This means this is a for-profit company. Their mission is to make profits so that they can make profits for stockholders or shareholders. Why is that important? Well, if they're a for-profit company and they have inaccurate data and they're not doing what they need to do, that means that they're profiting off of you and I, even if the data that they're holding on to or reporting is incorrect. So it's a nationwide consumer reporting agency with headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Equifax is the parent company to Equifax Information Services, LLC, and it's one of the 3 major consumer reporting agencies in the U.S. It aggregates data about most adult consumers and sells that data to its consumers in the form of consumer reports that are used by lenders, employers, landlords, and others to make important decisions about consumers. Equifax processes approximately 765,000 disputes each month. That's almost 1 million a month, and a lot of people are more aware about their credit, so that number has been going up over the past several years. And people like me and other channels who are educating you on things that you can do played a big part in that, because people are more aware, and as awareness increases, then people are less fearful and they are more prone to start to follow the process of getting things cleaned up and disputed to take their credit to the next level. Speaking of that, I got some free valuable information in the chat or in the comments area or the description area that can help you take your credit to the next level. If you would like our assistance, then you'll see how you can do that as well. Or you can take advantage of our free information if you're not ready to invest in yourself just yet. But stick around, because there's more. It gets a little bit deeper. But they are receiving 765,000 disputes each month. So they actually need some type of system in order to be able to properly go through the disputes. And this is why they're outsourcing your information. But as a result of them outsourcing your information and having other things or other entities and Oscar software things that they use to go through your disputes, it's causing you to still have unlawful things being done as it relates to your consumer report. Things not properly being investigated. Data being released to entities that are not even, you haven't given permission to have access to your data. So as a result of that, it's a lose-lose for you, and they're just doing what they have to do in order to stay in profit. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, requires consumer reporting agencies to investigate the accuracy of disputed information and take steps to ensure consumers' credit reports are accurate. For example, consumer reporting agencies must provide notice of a consumer dispute to the furnisher who provided the disputed information. Number 1, conduct reasonable investigations to determine whether the disputed information is inaccurate, and provide the results of the investigation to the consumer. So it's a couple of things that they're supposed to do. They got to, make sure they provide notice of a consumer dispute to the furnisher who provided the disputed information. So they got to reach out and contact those entities that you may be disputing. A lot of times they're not doing it, and if so, they're not doing it in a proper manner. They're supposed to conduct a reasonable investigation to determine whether the disputed information is inaccurate. Are they doing it? Obviously not. And they're supposed to provide the results to the consumer, which is you. So the CFPB found that Equifax violated the FCRA's requirements for investigating and processing consumer disputes and assuring maximum possible accuracy of information. See, maximum possible accuracy means 100%. Not, it's kind of partially true, or it seems right. It kind of seems like they could be correct information because I saw it here. No, maximum possible accuracy of information. Not halfway. If it was halfway, it would have said minimum possible accuracy. This says maximum. Maximum is 100%. Last time I checked, the max is 100 out of 100, which is 100%. So you use this type of verbiage to your advantage when you're going through the proper disputes, and use the codes associated with that rule. And it helps you along the way. The CFPB also found that Equifax violated the law by using ineffective systems and flawed processes, and excessively deferring to furnishers to address disputes. Specifically, the CFPB found Equifax harmed consumers by failing to thoroughly investigate consumer disputes. Equifax's processes for submitting disputes limits the ability of consumers to fully and accurately describe their disputes. In many cases, Equifax also failed to consider relevant information submitted by consumers, sometimes not looking at the information at all. Then, after Equifax forwarded information about a dispute to a furnisher, it did not meaningfully consider whether the furnisher's response made sense, sometimes ignoring information it had that contradicted the furnisher's response. Finally, the resulting letters Equifax sent to consumers sometimes contain confusing or contradictory statements such as both, "This has been verified as accurate," and "This item has been deleted." So sometimes they may send confusing, conflicting information, having a person thinking something that has been done and it has not. But they're just, winging it or having their automated systems to do the work. Second thing they did to harm consumers is putting previously deleted errors back on the credit reports and failing to block identity theft related information. So when they reinsert things on your report that was previously deleted, it's a 5-day reinsertion rule. I'm not sure if they're going to get into it on this, but it's a 5-day reinsertion rule that requires them to notify you and let you know, hey, this is about to be added back to your report. Do they do that? Absolutely not. In many cases, absolutely not. I've yet to see them do it. So I've disputed using the 5-day reinsertion rule and gotten things deleted that was once deleted, and hopefully it's deleted for good because they know that they're not following the proper measures. And then them failing to block identity theft related information is a whole nother situation, especially with data breaches that have been happening left and right. Equifax being one of those data breaches that, many people know about, and they're not blocking identity theft related information is, definitely harmful to the consumer. So Equifax did not have systems to detect info that was previously removed and blocked their information from again appearing on the consumer's credit report. In addition, Equifax also had no process to identify situations where a consumer is forced to send another dispute about the same inaccurate information because Equifax failed to correct the information the first time, or because Equifax reported information that had previously been corrected. Equifax's policies limited consumers' ability to dispute inaccurate information being put on their credit report. Finally, Equifax reported credit information that it should have blocked because the information resulted from identity theft. You see, it's a lot to just grab from what was just said. So they didn't correct the information in the first place, and they're allowing information that should have been blocked from an identity theft to resurface. So it's really playing with your data in a way that definitely can cause harm when it comes to leveraging your credit and information being on there that's blocking you or stopping you from making progression by you leveraging your credit however you see fit. Another thing that was harming the consumer is sharing inaccurate credit scores and data about consumers with lenders. Pretty much what I was just stating. So coding errors in Equifax's internal software caused the company to miscalculate and share inaccurate credit scores for several 100,000 consumers. Several 100,000. And it's millions of people who have errors on their report, number one. But this one is causing scores to be miscalculated. So sometimes scores are not accurate just due to a miscalculation on top of wrong information and bad data and them not following the proper processes. Now, of course, we know it's certain people who just damage their credit and, that's the case. But it's a lot of people who have done decent things with their credit that has less than ideal scores due to errors and unlawful behavior by these entities. The company also reported the same credit accounts multiple times for more than 50,000 customers. So it's tens of thousands of people that are affected by this, and it's causing harm to their overall credit profile. All right, let's bring it to a close. So enforcement action. Under the Consumer Financial Protection Act, the CFPB has the authority to take action against institutions violating consumer financial protection laws, including the FCRA, and the prohibitions on unfair, deceptive, or abusive acts or practices under the CFPA. The order requires Equifax to follow the federal law on handling credit reporting data. Equifax must bring its dispute resolution processes into compliance with the FCRA and the CFPA, and they must pay $15 million penalty. Equifax will pay $15 million civil penalty to the CFPB's Victims Relief Fund. So this is what you got to understand. The CFPB is one of the entities that's designed to help consumers. So sometimes you got to have entities that are willing to go to battle and fight for you in the event that these entities are doing things unlawfully, and they have to be willing to apply pressure, willing to file lawsuits, willing to issue out relief to different victims, and willing to educate you at the same time. So hopefully this helps you, but this is what you got to understand. When it comes to your credit, it has to be something that requires applying pressure, taking action, not just sitting back hoping things will get better, not just sitting back and waiting for things to get better. No, what we do is take a holistic approach when it comes to your credit. So if we're restoring your credit or you're using our DIY system, what we teach is that, hey, a part of cleaning up your credit is getting negativity deleted and going at Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, using the CFPB to your advantage. But it's also opportunities for you to build and establish and maintain and strengthen your current credit profile by understanding that not everything should be deleted. Certain things need to be updated to positive. But understanding that these entities are doing things unlawfully, it's something that you can leverage and use to your advantage by you going directly to the CFPB. A lot of times when I go directly through the CFPB, I'm using code violations that I've observed, errors that I've observed, but also court cases that have already been won that I've observed as well and have had success with that. So If you want access to everything or anything that we can do to assist you, check the information in the description. But just understand, pressure is being applied. And now's the best time to take your credit to the next level. Don't wait. I know previous years, many people say that they wanted to get serious about their credit. And then next thing you know, a year has passed, 2 years, 3 years. Time waits for no one. So now's always the best opportunity. I promise if you've spent any money on things that didn't help you elevate or take you to the next level, then you're losing money by default, because the less than ideal credit score is costing you thousands. Many cases on a vehicle that you may buy, or the home that you may buy. It may be costing you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, depending on the overall price of that item. So restoring your credit is an investment, not a bill. Too many people think, I can't do this because no, you're probably circulating or spending money on things that are not taking you to the next level. So the best thing you can do for yourself is invest in taking your credit to the next level. That way you save a ton by now having the ability to have a higher credit score, qualify for lower interest rate, and not miss out on opportunities that are presented to you. That credit will be something that can help you in. Hopefully you got value from this video. Take advantage of any of the free or information that requires an investment that's available in the description. And stay tuned for future videos where I break down different things that are going on behind the scenes that you may not know about, because there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things trying to distract you from elevating and going to that next level. Stay plugged in. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.